To join us on this occasion to celebrate Carl's 21st birthday. Before I thank anybody, I just want to praise and thank God for Carl's life, and it'll be our prayers that He'll continue to bless him in the years that lie ahead. Now, a special thanks to Jason. It's absolutely unbelievable what this guy can do, and his wife is giving him so much time off. So I've got to thank you too, Louise, wherever you are, for allowing Jason to spend so much time to cart all this stuff up here, set it up. Jason, you've been an absolute pillar of strength for us. Jason's actually grown up with our sons. He was our neighbor across the road, and the relationship between all of them is still wonderful. And Jace, it's just nice to still be able to have you to support us on all these special occasions. Then I want to give thanks to Carl's brothers for their support and help in organizing the venue, especially Donovan, our eldest son. He's a member here, by the way. I can't even afford to be a member. But he is definitely one. And then also for beating up Carl when he was naughty. Thanks. And then very special thanks to my wife Sharon. She has got so much work, she's done so much work behind the scenes with all the little decorations and the balloons, and also with the organizing of everything, of food and the times and blah, blah, blah. We are just very blessed to have a wife and a mother like her. Thank you, love. You're absolutely spectacular. Stand by me. Okay, just a few words now about Kyle. And as I said, I've already heard some rubbish here from my son about, what's it? What did they say? We are to get naked in the bathroom. Stuff like that, well, that's okay. That's okay. That's enough. So nobody sees you and you normally hide away like crazy. Okay. Carl has been really a great blessing to us as the Lord Lamiki of the family. And he has some wonderful characteristics. He's been, all his life, he's been a very gentle, caring, and loving person. And Carl has also completed our big and happy family, and he has a wonderful relationship with all his brothers. Carl has pleased us specifically with his character and attitude to life. Carl is not easily pressurized or intimidated by his peers or by anybody else. He has set himself a very high standard of morality, and he's been living his life by example. And I hope it will continue like that. Thank you, Carl. For all your efforts, actually, to please us, your parents. We're very proud of you. And then we're also proud of you with your progress that you're making through your studies at UNISA, and also at Sun Valley, where you are in a learner-teacher program. Well done so far. I hope it continues like that. We and Mom will just continue to pray that God may continue to guide, protect your life, and grant you good health, happiness, and success in the years that lie ahead. Well done, and thank you. Now I'll leave it to the MC or whoever's speaking next.
Hi there, I'm Sheldon, if you don't know me. I've been friends with Kyle for about 13, 14 years now, and I've just written a few things down that I would like to say. I'm going to keep it nice and short and sweet, so I'm pretty nervous, but let's see how it goes. But firstly, it says how we know each other. That's my key word over there. So, Kyle and I met in grade 1. We were both 7 years old. I was tall, dark, and handsome, and Kyle was, yeah, he wasn't really that. We were in Miss Heine's class in grade 1, And to be honest, we actually weren't very good friends. We started off as enemies because, if I recall correctly, Travis Bird was the boy that we were both wanting to be best friends with, and neither of us would budge. So we had a little pushing contest where I would push Carl and he would hit my hands away, and yeah. So as the years went on, we were in the same class in grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. So eventually I grew to love Kyle after a while. It took a long time, probably 2 or 3 years, but eventually we became good friends. And yeah, I used to go to his house very often. We used to play whatever games at his house. It was very fun. Yeah, what else do I have on here? Growing up, yes, we grew up together. We've known each other for 14, 15, going on 15 years now. We've been close for most of that time. I mean, we drifted apart every now and again, but I've always known that Carl's one of the guys I can really depend on. He's always been one of those solid oaks that I know can always, if I need something from him, he's always going to give it to me, whatever I want. He's going to do. And because he's my gym partner, I don't mean that in a weird way. Because he comments on the way my bum looks like very often, I don't mean it in that way. Yes, Carl? Right, I'd just like to share a quick story. I say I will be quick, so I'll try and be quick. We were on camp, I think we were about 10 years old, and we were on a church camp. And Carl was sleeping on the top bunk, and I was on the bottom bunk. And it's probably 2, 3 in the morning one night, or one morning, and I hear a big thud. And I wake up, obviously I'm very tired, seeing blurry vision, and I look down to my left, and I see Kyle lying on the floor. And I'm like, Kyle, what's wrong, man? He's like, no, my wrist is really sore. I don't know what happened. I fell out of the bed. I'm like, oh my word, okay. I just need to pee quickly and then I'll be right back. So I went to the bathroom, came back, and I looked at Kyle. And as my vision started to kind of be less blurry, I saw his wrist. And I noticed that it was very much skewed. And yes, you have a kind of weird thing about you, the way you look, but not the wrist. Normally that was always looking alright. So I obviously had to alert the camp guards, and we found out that Kyle had broken his wrist. And it took us about half an hour to actually figure that out. Because as you know, Kyle's a macho man, he never cries. So he just lays there and says, no, I'll be alright, just let me lie on the floor and sleep. So that was good. Right. Like I said, Kyle and I are gym partners. We gym together pretty often for the last 2 years or so. When we started gymming, Kyle outweighed me by about 6 kgs, and now he's about 5 kgs lighter than me. So we're doing the exact same workouts. Please tell me why I'm picking up weight. I don't know. My suit's getting very tight in the midsection. But Kyle, you're looking very good these days, right? Not that you weren't before. And in a non-gay way, of course. We're both single bachelors, just by the way, ladies. Right. The last bit says how nice a guy Kyle is. That's my last line. Kyle is a very, very nice guy. I've known him for many years, as I said. Okay, let's get a little deep now. Kyle is one of those guys that he's genuine. I mean, what you see is what you get. He would pretty much do anything for the people that he cares about. He's one of those guys that I know, no matter what the problem is, if I came to him with it, he would help me out. I've probably not heard him say a bad thing about anybody in life, and that's not even a joke. I mean, yes, he doesn't get on with everybody, none of us do, but he's never one to criticize. He always looks for the best in people, and that's what I really, really like about Kyle. He's one of those oaks that you know, whenever you see him, he's going to have a smile on his face. He always looks for the best in life, and that's really awesome. And Kyle, never change who you are. He never ever follows anybody. I can tell him every weekend, please come and Joel Tiger with me. He will say, Sheldon, I really don't want to. He will never be peer pressured, and that's really important. And I really appreciate the advice he gives me when I tell him about the mistakes I made on Monday on the Saturday. Thank you for being such a good friend, Carl.
I think mine's a little bit more, not as funny. But all I can say is we're here tonight to celebrate the 21st birthday of that special guy. That is how he summed up in one word, is a special guy. Kyle and I have been friends since the very young age of 9, and to be honest, I wouldn't be able to tell you how we became friends, because it all happened so naturally. It is as if there was just no need to develop a friendship, because whatever we did, it was natural and effortless. Our friendship has always been a little bit on the competitive side as to who would win swimming or not, and whose house would win the Spirit Trophy or the annual like athletics or swimming.
Very nice.
And of course, in the end, it actually Blue House won in our senior year. There've been loads of memories that I could waffle on about, but I'm not here to write a book, so I think I'll just keep it short and sweet. Just a quick word to Auntie Sharon and Uncle Donald. Sure. To compliment you on the boy that you raised. I mean, he's actually not a boy anymore. He's become a true gentleman and a man that you guys could only be proud of. To you, my dear Estelle, the admiration for you comes into how you love with your whole heart, how you show courage in every task you face, and your true determination to be the best man you can possibly be. You're full of passion, you're hard-headed as hell, hence us never being able to get him out. And you stand out from the crowd, not because of the smile that emanates from your face, but from the sparkle in your eye. You live by strong morals and values, and as third speech in a row, you never succumb to peer pressure. You're one awesome role model, and I really couldn't ask for a better friend. You've been my personal rock in the hard times I faced, and you're always able to put a smile on my face. You're not a boy, my way anymore, you're a man. So, cheers to him. Carl, happy birthday.
Sheldon, not Justin Wine.
Don and Ryan, can you please come to the front?
He's going first.
Brought my iPad with. I think what I would like to start off with before we get on to Rippin' or Carl is I'd just like to say to my parents, Mom and Dad, what is Dad? Cool. I'd just like to say what amazing parents we've had in you. And if I think back on all the memories, and I'm speaking for all of us now, of all the memories we've had at home and on holidays and the parties we've had, our 13th birthdays, our 10th birthdays, our 5 years, every one of those is always everyone went home saying, "No, that was an awesome party," and people remember them. And you've always put so much love and care into everything that you've done for us, and we are just so grateful, and we love you so much, and I hope that you never ever ever doubt that. We really are so grateful for everything that you've done for us, and for getting all of us through into adulthood. Finally, the last one has reached 21. So thank you very much, and if you could all please raise your glasses to my parents. Cheers. Cheers. All right, and then to follow me is Donnie. If those of you that were at my wedding, I have asked him to keep it down to one chapter. So if you see me punching him, you know why it's landing on a little bit.
No, there's no chapters today. As he stands up there. Look, I think I just want to maybe, it's always difficult talking about your brother, your youngest brother, and a brother. There's so many things you could say. You've got to try and, I suppose, choose things that potentially are relevant to everyone in the crowd. So, look, the younger years, Carl grew up in a family, literally, like 4 males and 1 female. 5 males and 1 female. That's 4 of us. Yeah. 5 males, 1 female, the youngest brother. And that's a lot of pressure. And to be honest, like Carl growing up, he didn't always look like that. He looks like the Hulk now, but it wasn't always like that back in the day. Carl, to be honest, was used by us as a punching bag most of the time. Like, there was a lot of entertainment that us older brothers got out of him, and a lot of entertainment that a lot of my mates got out of Carl. You know, there'd be many a wrestling match in the swimming pool, and like I suppose more memorable was our Christmas Eve. We'd always throw like a big Christmas Eve night, and we'd always hire a jumping castle, and the biggest thing about that was getting Carl on that with the three of us. Like we'd take chances and turns in throwing that boy around and beating him. Which I suppose is why he's become like that. I probably wouldn't be able to do that anymore. But often, like, I'd be like, call Carl, where's Carl? Is he here? Get him, quickly, get him. And I'll be like, Carl, I'm on the floor kick, I want to try this leg lock. and then I'll put him in a leg lock, and I'll be like, Carl, is it working? Have I got it? And he'll literally be like passing out of play. I won't hear anything. Carl, are you tapping? Are you tapping? So I'm coming, stop, stop. Look, there's been a lot of fun and a lot of moments that's happened in the Fun of Faith household, let me tell you, with that guy. And look, he also, that physique that he has now is phenomenal. I mean, I probably could never have that. But it wasn't always like that. We actually had a name for him. We used to call him the Jiggler because he weighed a lot more than that back in the day. And he did love food, and he could do this amazing thing with his stomach. It was hilarious. My friends used to come to the house, and they'd be like, we used to call it the jiggle. And he used to literally run in and lift up his top and do something radical with his stomach. So I often would be at home, my mates would come around and be like, where's Carl? And I'd call Carl and be like, Carl, show us the jiggle. And he'd run in and he'd do his thing. So to some of his young life with us older brothers, a lot of beatings, made him probably that. But he's survived, which is good. Another two things I would like to share with the crowd tonight is just, Carl, to be honest, is very different to all of us, to the three. Like, he is very much his own personality there, his own character. I'm going to bring up two occasions that I experienced it with him, which was very different. Very interesting, to be honest. The one was the cinema night. Carl, for some reason, is a bit anxious. He tends to bite his nails quite a lot, both hand and feet. And to be honest, this was an awakening for me. Because I did go to the cinema with him one night, and you get everything together, popcorn, Astros, had the Coke, 3D glasses. And I was sitting in the cinema, thank goodness there wasn't a lot of people in there. And I was sitting next to him, and literally the guy was eating his foot. I was focused on the cinema, and as you do, like popcorn and everything else, and I kind of glanced out of my 3D glasses to what was going on the right, and I was like, that is incredible. I then turned to look at him, and he actually had a full conversation with his foot. And I didn't speak for about 3 minutes. And I said, when you speak to me in the cinema, could you please take your foot out of your mouth? And if we ever go to a movie again, could you never ever do that? And it's the most, I will never ever forget it in my life. I've never experienced that with anyone else. So that was one. And then another experience where I was in complete hysterics. I was actually lying on the couch back at home, and I was actually doing my own thing, watching TV, and my passionate brother over here was trying to teach Carl a few things. I don't know what he was trying to teach him. I think it was maths. And Ryan's quite passionate, and he puts a lot into, like, when he tries to explain things to people, a lot of hand movement. And there's a lot of loudness coming from the corner. And I was watching this, and Ryan was literally so passionate, explaining hand signals, writing on paper. I was looking at this from afar, and Ryan wasn't looking at Carl. He was just down there, hands, and explaining. And I looked at Carl, and he was looking out the window. Ryan lost him about 20 minutes ago. I was like, I gotta wait for this, but now he's got to look up sometime. So I was waiting there, and then Ryan was in there, and he came up and he looked at Carl. Carl said, did you get that now? And Carl's like, But he had that whole kind of Twilight Zone look. And that Zoner look that he gets, that's only he can get. I mean, I suppose like two nicknames I've given him, and I can't even explain why they work, but they seem to stick. This Basil, I don't know, he just describes that zone. I don't know how, but it's like that Venus-Pluto zone where no one really else knows where he is, but Basil, that just fits. And at one stage he did have these long lock blonde hair, like curly and going wild. And I think one of the names that stuck, I don't know how it stuck, it just Fluffy Waggles. So those are two instances. I was worried Sheldon might bring up the other one. I want to talk about a third. I was in hysterics again. I couldn't believe it. And this is something that none of us have actually done. So I take my hat off. Well done. I travel a lot. I'm not here all the time. And I was in another country. Popped onto Facebook to see what was going on. And I think Carl was valedictory and all of that. And I saw these pictures on Facebook that I was like, I literally fell off my chair. Carl at Wynberg Boys High School in a green boy outfit, showing off the biggest and whitest ass I've ever seen. Proudly. He's the only brother to ever be chased out of assembly by the headmaster, wearing a Borat outfit and a blazer.